Hi, good morning, good afternoon. It's almost afternoon. My name is Andrew Harbison, and I'm the director of WebJunction, OCLC's learning and continuing education platform for public library staff. Today I'm going to share with you a little bit about what WebJunction does, what we plan to do, and also think a little bit more about the future as we've discussed today. First, I want to tell you a little bit more background about myself. Let's see. There we go. I graduated from the University of Washington Information School, or the I School, where I studied art libraries and worked in monographic acquisitions. The first jobs I actually got out of library school were in the private sector at the big Seattle companies, Amazon and then Microsoft, before moving on to become a cataloger and then later a library director at a small commercial arts school in Seattle. For the next chapter of my career, I joined the Seattle Public Library, where I truly fell in love with public libraries, as I'm sure many of you have. Here's the magnificent Central Library designed by Rem Koolhaas, where I spent 10 years of my career as an assistant director and later as a division director, most recently overseeing public services, collections, access, operations, programming and outreach, logistics, and IT for the Central Library and 26 branch libraries. And during my time at Seattle Public, the need for staff training and continuing education came up just about every day. It was also very quickly followed by the recognition that there wasn't enough time, there wasn't enough resources, there wasn't enough in-house expertise, and often other priorities were just taking up all of the airspace. And because WebJunction has an exceptional reputation for delivering quality, relevant learning and continuing education, I wanted to join that team to continue to make an impact and help libraries across the United States and beyond. So what is WebJunction? WebJunction is part of OCLC's Research and Programming Division, which is dedicated to delivering public value to the library field and creating community among libraries and library professionals. Research and Programming consists of 3 public-facing programs: Research, Research Library Partnership, or RLP, and WebJunction. The research team investigates emergent and priority issues in the library field to bring thought leadership and expand learning. The Research Library Partnership is a membership program that serves research libraries through engagement and information sharing. And similarly, WebJunction provides free training and continuing education dedicated to public libraries, but available and open to all. WebJunction has over 20 years of experience leading and consulting on projects that translate research into best practices and real-world implementation. Our freely available platform delivers on-demand learning and engagement that equips library staff with the knowledge, skills, and confidence they need to power strong libraries that are the heart of vibrant communities. The 3 main aims of WebJunction are to bring people together to share their knowledge and ideas, make learning both practical and flexible, and to collaborate wherever possible through partnerships. WebJunction programming and content consists of live and recorded webinars, library articles and feature stories, self-paced, self-directed courses, research, and social media. And some of the most popular themes on the WebJunction platform are around the topics of leadership strategies, supporting communities, misinformation and disinformation, artificial intelligence, surprise there, and customer service, particularly during challenging times. We also distribute a newsletter called Crossroads that summarizes recent and upcoming work, which you can sign up using this short link here. The WebJunction approach emphasizes enhanced learning. This includes additive measures like creating learner guides and lesson plans and cultivating communities of practice and collaboration. These enhancements include how to apply and integrate new approaches and techniques in real-world library conditions. We provide a wide range of curriculum and topics that are reflective of current trends, interests, and priorities within the public library community. And it's always interesting to see what's popular in our platform. It's often a reflection of what's happening in public libraries, obviously, but in many ways it's also a reflection of what's happening in society, technology, and culture. So here you can see the top 10 courses and webinars from 2024. You can see there's the traditional topics like story times and shelving with the Dewey Decimal Classification System, as well as emerging technologies and issues like AI and the epidemic of loneliness and isolation. However, you can also see the trend of public libraries taking on more and more complex and challenging roles in society with pervasive interest in de-escalation and managing staff burnout. Just by a show of hands, are any of these themes familiar to you in your libraries? I see some heads nodding there. And it's interesting to see how these themes are really, can be global in nature. As mentioned before, our WebJunction approach is really based on partnership and collaboration through partnership. Our model is to seek out partners with leaders in the library field to design and deliver programs and resources that are relevant and practical. We work with public library systems of all sizes, university researchers, nonprofit organizations, consultants, professional associations, and library-adjacent government agencies. And these are just some of the organizations that we've worked with to produce learning content, some of which are local and some of which are national in status. WebJunction's work has national reach in the US, and here are just a few examples of major nationally recognized projects that we've worked on. From Funding to Awareness was a widely used and cited longitudinal study that provided insights on voter perceptions and support of public libraries and how that changed over time. The Realm Project led the United States Library's response to COVID-19 by studying the lifespan of the virus on materials and modes of transmission and establishing best practices for libraries during the pandemic. And as we saw earlier, as libraries continue to play an increasingly complex role in their communities, we've also collaborated to produce resources and guidelines related to the opioid crisis and how it's impacting our communities, as well as natural disaster responses and their legal implications, both for libraries and communities that are experiencing them. On a slightly more positive note, one of our most popular courses is Supercharged Story Times, which we saw earlier, which really synthesizes academic research on early literacy and childhood learning to inform optimal storytime experiences for public libraries. And we're really, really proud to be embracing the Sustainable Libraries Initiative so that we can help share what libraries can do, whether they're large or small, to operationalize sustainability in their programs and library systems. Staying with the scope and scale of WebJunction, I wanted to share some high-level numbers regarding our reach. You can see here our engagement peaked during the pandemic when staff had to work from home and many sought training and continuing education to stay engaged. Nevertheless, we continue to see steady growth year over year. And on the left, you can see our unique users or unique learners, which is now over 33,000. And on the right, the number of registrations we see in our course catalog is over 70,000 as of last year. And this continuous growth reflects an ongoing, and I would argue, increasing need for library staff training. And our users are really, really satisfied with our work. Our satisfaction rating has been above 90% for the last 10 years. And we administer user experience surveys every other year, and we'll be offering one this coming June. And while our primary user base is among public libraries, with smaller public libraries representing the largest segment, more and more large public libraries and academic libraries are finding relevance in the work that we do. Since its inception, WebJunction has reached over 215,000 library professionals. So what about the future? What do we have to look forward to? We're really excited to announce that we are working on updating our suite of core library skills training courses, which is a series of 12 courses. These courses are some of our highest used courses, but they're nearly 20 years old. And while we have periodically updated them, we're now completely overhauling these courses so they're current and up to date and also represent a more contemporary learning experience for our users. And in June, we will be publishing our first set of courses on collection development and collection management. Then we'll move on to other core functions like technical services, cataloging, and information services. We will also be identifying new skills that public library staff need to be successful. And this program was previously called ABLE, the Alternative Basic Library Education. You can find these courses in our course catalog. We're rebranding that to be Library Foundational Training when we launch it in June. Another area of coursework that we're really proud of is our digital collections stewardship courses, which teach library staff about the life cycle of digital collections, from creation to preservation. This is a very in-depth series of 8 courses. And most recently, the newest course is focusing on how to create community through engagement, so the library can be seen as a natural place for special collections and a partner for building local collections. So what does this all mean for you? I've mentioned some of the projects that we've been involved in that have a national reach in the US and some new and exciting projects that we have coming up. However, we would also like to start looking further afield to see what projects are possible elsewhere in the world. About a year ago, OCLC signed a multi-year agreement with EBLIDA, and this agreement was a commitment to more collaboration by building on existing relationships, making information more accessible, and participating in collaborative projects with libraries throughout Europe. With this in mind, I wanted to share a project that we're just getting started on to start this partnership. We're working on a 2-part webinar series that will help public libraries learn how to use data to improve their services, plan better programs, and show the value of their work. Public libraries play an important role, as you all know, and using this data can help staff make better decisions, demonstrate the value of services to funders and decision makers, and advocate for more support and resources. And this is where you come in. We're putting a call out for libraries that are placing a strong emphasis on data-driven decision-making that would like to share the work that you're doing. And I've already heard some great examples since I've been here today. We really want to take that WebJunction approach and surface the great work that's happening in the library field so that others can also learn from it. We'll also be exploring the capabilities of the WebJunction's Learning Management System, or LMS platform, to see if there's any applications that could support the EBLIDA work that's ahead of us. Our goals in the coming year for WebJunction as a whole and for our EBLIDA partnership are to continue to evolve our approach, collaborate more widely to achieve greater efficiency of scale, and reach new audiences to deliver more value and impact. So please come visit us at webjunction.org and share our resources with your libraries. We think it could be very useful. And WebJunction is freely available, and we see users across library types and from around the world. And finally, just a reminder, please reach out to us if you have any ideas about work around data-driven decision-making that you'd like to share with the broader library community. EBLIDA and OCLC will be collaborating to do that and share some of those stories more widely. I'm joined here by my colleagues Saskia Leferink and Gemma Burke, so you can also reach out to them if you have any ideas. And my email address is here, so please don't hesitate to reach out to me if you have anything to share. And of course, if you have any questions or ideas for WebJunction, I'm always welcoming those as well. And with that, I'm wrapping up here. And I know it's lunchtime, so I had the privilege of presenting right before lunch. So I don't know if there's anything else we have to close out before we let people go.
I'm just going to say a little bit of housekeeping.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Henry.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.